Hi everybody, Dr. Brian Hooten here, founder of Hooten Family Healing Center in Dallas, Texas. Excited as always. Quick question to get us started today. How many of you would like to avoid Alzheimer's disease? There you go. And dementia, how many of you want to avoid dementia? You know, these things are just scavengers on humanity. My family has been through this. I held my grandmother for years when she had no idea what planet she was on or the names of her grandchildren. She couldn't speak. Tragic stuff. If you are going through anything like that, my heart is with you. This is not meant to discourage anybody. In fact, if I want to do anything, it's encourage you. If you are wanting to avoid this disease, if you want to save your brain health, or if you're in the middle of it, if you've been told that you're forgetting things more, your cognitive function is going down, which is, we've had multiple people come in over the years, and that's why they came in, to save their brain. This video is for you. So I'm going to cover three things, the three biggest things you can do when it comes to saving your brain. All right, number one, and this is going to be the most important by far. You can get food right and exercise and everything else right, but you've got to get this one thing right. Physically and mechanically in your body, there is a way, there's a system that your brain uses to keep its health, so that your brain doesn't die. See, in Alzheimer's patients, they show that there's tens to hundreds of thousands of cells dying every day. There's big words in there, like amygdaloid proteins and all this and that. Don't worry about the big stuff. Just know that your brain has a system, a mechanical system, going in and out of your spinal column to your body, and then your body back up to your brain. There's this canal, there's this channel, there's this system between your brain and your body that has to be flowing. So your brain is up here encased in your skull, and at the base of your skull, there's this opening. It's your foramen magnum, and you have a hole in your head. In the bottom of your head, it's big, and that's where your brain stem, your spinal cord, everything exits your brain, your skull, and comes down your spinal cord, and then your body talks back to your brain through the spinal canal. There's also fluid in there. This fluid in your spinal, the nerve system, has to be flowing up and down. Think about this just logically for a second. You can find research if you want it, but just think of this logically. Think of it as a river, if you will. If you were to build a dam on the river right here at the top of your neck and shut off the flow between your brain and your body, just cut it off, obviously what happens to your body? It's over. Okay? If you dam up everything right there, nothing's going to flow out of your brain, nothing's going to flow back up to your brain. Well, if you are choking that, if there's a small blockage, or like if beavers move in there and build up a small dam on your river, and now they're blocking some of that flow in and out of your brain, are all the nutrients going to be able to get back up to your brain? No. Is your brain going to be able to communicate to your body like it's supposed to? No. And to get a little bit deeper, your brain cells, there's metabolism going on up in your brain. You have a lot of intricate things happening. There's DNA things up there. There's cellular metabolism. There's sugar usage. There's X, Y, and Z. All these things happening. Well, when you metabolize things, you produce waste products. And those waste products need to leave. Just like when we make waste products, we go to the bathroom and poop it out. Your cells up in your brain, and everywhere in your body for that matter, are metabolizing things and making waste products. They need to leave. They need to be able to get out of there. If those waste products back up and they start sticking around in your brain, which is pretty gross to think about, well, those waste products, those are proteins is what they're called, they will build up and they'll start destroying cells. You have to have this flowing, okay? No matter what anybody tells you, no matter if you've been to MDs, if you've been to therapists, if you've been to chiropractors, if you want to avoid this disease or reestablish your brain health, if you want to avoid Alzheimer's, you have to get this flowing. So if you've met me before, if you're in our office, obviously our specialty is chiropractic. That does not include all chiropractors. If you are going to a chiropractor that does not talk about spinal flow, if it's all about pain, you need to fire that chiropractor if you want to avoid Alzheimer's and get into one that focuses on establishing that brain-to-body connection. And that's all we do in the office. So that's number one. You've got to get into a place that will get your brain and your body communicating properly. Number two, and this is a big piece of nutrition. Every one of you watching this video or listening to me is a fathead. What I mean by that is your brain is made up of a lot of fat, a lot of cholesterol, a lot of fatty acids in your brain. You've got to have fat in your brain. Now, forever, what's been the nutrition myth that's been running around, since in the 70s, I remember it, is a low-fat diet is what you need to do. Well, no, that's not true at all. That starves your brain from its most important nutrient. Your brain has to have fat. So you've got to put in healthy fats and eliminate the bad fats. That's number two. Put in healthy fats, eliminate the bad fats. And the bad fats are pretty easy. Vegetable oils, Crisco's, those type of things. Canola oil, very bad fat. Just get it out of your system. When you put that type of fat in, those do something called they oxidize very easily. That will create more waste products up in your brain. It creates a bad brain cell. You don't want that. Get the bad fat out of there. So vegetable oils and the like, get rid of them. And you can look up online. You can find all kinds of resources. We have books in the office to get you thoroughly educated on what a bad fat is. Now, put in good fats. And there's a couple of really easy ones. We like coconut oil and avocados. In fact, we eat avocados every day in my house. Coconut oil we use for all our cooking. In fact, if you really want to supplement your brain, then you could literally take the extra virgin, non-processed coconut oil, get the organic stuff, go for the good stuff that shouldn't have anything on the label other than coconut oil, and take spoonfuls of it at a time. We found some at Costco, for goodness sakes. I mean, they're even doing a good job at Costco of getting good products on the shelf. So supplement healthy fats. We also take a very healthy, very organic omega supplement. We manufactured them. We teamed up with Maximize Living, and we carry Maximize Living products on our shelf because we know their products are solid. If you are really sick, if you have a lot of weight to lose, if you have a lot of joint pain, if you know your brain is already in trouble, then I would suggest even going deeper into the omega-3 category and supplementing cod liver oil. Take 2 to 3 shots of that a day, and that has been a lifesaver. So there you go. Remove the bad fats and supplement and increase the good fats. Now, you don't just have to do avocados and coconut oil. Obviously, if you can get a clean fish, which is tricky, make sure you know where your fish is coming from. We'll eat salmon, but it has to come out of Alaska. So you got to be very careful where you're getting your fish. So most of us don't eat enough fish. That's where the fish oil supplements come in. Don't get a junky fish oil supplement. Somebody brought in their fish oil supplement from a well-respected store the other day, and literally on the label was antifreeze. And it's called something else on the label, but clearly antifreeze isn't good for us. So don't go cheap on your omega-3 or your fish oil supplements. Okay, so good fats. Number 3, and this is always the hardest thing, at least people think it's the hardest thing. I will tell you right now, it's not the hardest thing. The hardest thing is dealing with Alzheimer's. The hardest thing is holding your loved one in your arms while they can't process anything that's going on around them. That's hard. So what I tell you to cut out the sugars and the carbohydrates, that is not hard. If you're telling yourself that, you need to think, step back and think. Think, hey, you know what? I don't want to get Alzheimer's. I don't want to get diabetes. I don't want to keep putting weight on. Whatever's going on. Sugar is a culprit in almost every single disease out there. In fact, some of the Alzheimer's people are calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because of the sugar effect on the brain. Get it out of your system. Get it out of the house. Get it away from your children. Now, that little venom that you feel from me, just so you know, I ate Fruity Pebbles and everything growing up. I would love to go back to my childhood and take all that garbage out of our house. My parents didn't know. They didn't intentionally harm me or anything. The Pop-Tarts, all the cakes, all the goodies, all those things that we ate growing up. I remember this thing called a Star Crunch. If you're a child of the 70s and early 80s, maybe you remember those type of things, the Dolly Madisons and all that. Just catastrophic on our brain health. Today, the amount of sugar consumed in a child is 40 times more than it was when I was a kid. 40 times. We have to get the sugars out of our life altogether. Now, it's not just the obvious sugars. You got breads, crackers, pasta, rice. That is all dumping sugar down your throat, destroying your brain. In a nutshell, all that sugar creates inflammation. Your immune system attacks it. More waste products build up in your brain, destroys. In fact, we call sugar an anti-nutrient because it does so much damage to cells. So get the sugars out. Stop buying the rices. Stop buying the pasta. Stop caving into what your kids want to eat and be a parent. Be a parent, not their buddy, not their friend. Don't give them the garbage. And by the way, if you expect them to be healthy, you have to be healthy too, just like us. Right? Now, I'm not perfect. My wife is not perfect, but we are always working in the right direction. And my daughter, we have a 4-year-old today, radically healthier than both of us were at 4 years old. So get the sugars, get the carbs out of your life. Now, if you are in a disease state, meaning you're overweight, taking a handful of pills, maybe you can't sleep or something, right now, just for now, even cut out the fruits. Okay? Fruit has fructose in it. That's a very powerful sugar. You're going to have to give your body a break from that. If you're watching this video, you may need some guidance on that. We're here for you in the office. Let us know. If you're watching this while you're in the office and you know you really need to cut out all the sugars and even the fruits for a little while, come and talk to us. We'll show you how to get over that hump. For example, sometimes when people come in with diabetes or a big weight problem where they're trying to save their brain, they have to cut out the fruit to get the rest of their hormones working. That's a whole nother video, but they'll have to cut out the fruit and then they start getting headaches. They start feeling really bad. Well, in that case, we have them eat a handful or two of berries each day because the berries don't have quite as much sugar, but there's a lot of nutrients in there. Your brain you can get over the hump that way. So there's 3 things. Get your spine flowing. While you're sitting, if you're watching this in the office, make sure you're doing your exercises. When you do those wobble exercises, you're actually pumping the fluid in and out of your brain. Focus on your adjustment. When you come in there, we've got one thing on our mind, that is establishing that spinal system, getting that thing to flow. That's all I can do for you in there. All right? So remember, I'm not trying to fix your disease, trying to put your body where it can heal itself. So get your spinal cord and your spinal system working. Number 2, get the bad fats out of the equation and pour on the good ones. So remove all the bad fats, learn what that means. Eat a bunch of avocados, coconut oil, nuts, things like almonds, walnuts. Walnuts are one of God's perfect. If I had to pick perfect foods, that's one of them, along with the avocados. And then things like cashews even are good. So learn what the difference between a bad fat and a good fat. Start putting in the good fats. And then finally, eliminate the sugars. Get it out of your system. All right? Now, what you replace the sugars with is a whole lot of green veggies. Eat as much of that as you can. Those technically veggies are carbohydrates, but their sugar load is so low that it doesn't register on your insulin scale. So you pour on the good stuff, pour on the good veggies, cut out all the pastas, rice, crackers, and breads, all those things that we all love to eat. The ice cream. Had a guy come in yesterday and clearly going through some early stages of Alzheimer's. Also has liver cancer, and he's doing all this medical treatment, and they told him his diet didn't have anything to do with it, so he's eating ice cream every night. Guys, we're not going to get away with that, so don't be silly. Don't be in denial. Denial is not a river in Egypt, right? Take charge of your life. No matter what has happened to you in the past, no matter what anybody has told you, what you do today will affect you tomorrow. And I don't know about you, but I want to be better tomorrow. I don't want to be in the nursing home. I don't want to put my kid in a position, or our children in a position, to be taking care of us. This is Dr. Hooten signing off. We love you guys. Share this video far and wide. Take control of your life, and we'll talk to you next week.